Avatars are the visual constructs that represent you in the metaverse that is Neos. Typically, they are entirely cosmetic, but they don't have to be. They can be set up directly in Neos to perform practical functions as well. In this video, I'll walk you through the process of creating an avatar. We'll start with the simplest type, which is essentially a floating head. This can be literally any object in Neos, whether you want to appear as a boring gray cube, or some squiggly face, or this failed science experiment. It is all up to you. Perhaps you may find that you spend so much time wondering if you could, rather than wondering if you should. Anyways, when creating any avatar, I strongly recommend creating it in an empty world to avoid any possibility of conflicts or errors. Alright, to get this going, we need an object to work with. While you could just draw one directly in Neos with the brush tools if you really wanted to, most of the time you're going to want something a little more detailed. So we'll start with the File Importer tooltip. This can be equipped just like any other tool, and when you press the trigger button, you will get this window. Basically, this is exactly the same as your computer's File Explorer. Navigate to any desired object file and double press the trigger button to load it into Neos. I should note that Neos supports over 40 different geometry mesh file formats, so regardless of what software that you prefer to work with, chances are good that it'll load into Neos just fine. Now that there's a model to work with, the following step is to use the developer's tooltip. We need it to spawn the avatar creator. Quite often, you're also going to want a mirror so that you can see how your avatar looks on you. So I'll use the developer's tooltip to create that as well. For floating head avatars, all we have to do from this point is place the object within the headset hologram. If your avatar is rigged and has arms, these hands, of course, should be placed where the hands of your character are. I want you to note that these two orbs here represent where your viewpoint is expected to be when this avatar is equipped. Press Create on this panel, and that's it. This object has been converted into a usable avatar. It's recommended that you save this object into your inventory, so I'll create a new folder called My Avatars and save it there. One way to equip an avatar is to point your laser at it and press the trigger button. Something you should be aware of, however, is that equipping an avatar does not make it your default avatar. Every time you move to a new world, it sets your avatar back to the one that you had set as your default. Generally, you manage avatars through the inventory. To replace your current avatar, select a different one to use and press this button here. To set an avatar as your default or favorite, that's what this button is for. That's it for basics. In other videos, I'll be covering some of the more advanced topics about avatar creation, including customizations and adjustments.